Nowadays, Spring Cloud is very popular, and to make this API document is very important for the separate teams to communicate with each other. So this documentation can be used, can be generated by the Swagger UI, and the Spring Fox. This project, Spring Fox has provided the Swagger UI integration into the Spring Cloud Spring Boot application. So we will have this best practice to provide the best practice of this integration of API documents. First, we will have this Spring Boot main module, and this main module we will define the API interfaces and the API documentation, annotations, descriptions defined in this API module. So this API module will be specifically for those API documents define definition and API interfaces definition. And in this, yes, like this one. So this API module will have Java code to define API interfaces and as well as configuration for this API document. Okay, let's take a look at it. So in order to, of course, all of us know that we have to define the interface by exposing the interface like this one. We have to define interface and this what is the REST API method post mapping here, and what's the path, what is the format of this API, and what is the request body, response body, which are all defined in this interface. And you can see that on top of the interface we have to define the API tag. This tag means that this API will be grouped into this PP tag. This PP tag will look like this. This is a tag. This PP tag has some API. This S2 API tag has some API in it. This PP tag has some API beneath it. This PP tag. This is the description of the PP tag. How can we define the description of this PP tag? We will define the description in here. This is the main class of the main module Spring Boot application. We just need to add enable Swag 2. It will help us generate a Swag API document. And here we have enable generate write a bin at bin, and this we can see we will select the tags that we want to add to the API documents. This tag like TP, and this description is what we see here. What we saw here. This field tag has description for this tag. And, okay. After we define such things, it will scan the packages. This packages means that this API. Where is the API? All the packages. So that is the package, and it will scan the interfaces beneath that package. So we have 3 APIs here, 3 API interfaces here. It will generate the according API document for the application. And we will see here, of course, when we define the API documents, we have to write some description screens here. And it's a best practice that if we have it in the API module resources file, and this resources file will have this value, string value here, and we will see that this one we read here. So if we write Java interface, it's Java code here, and have some string defined here, I think it's best practice, and because it can be configured. But we have to make it under the config directory, because the main application, Spring Boot application, has already have the application YAML file. This is main right here. The main module is here. It will have the application YAML here, and this YAML will override the string substitution file here. So in order to resolve that problem, we have to make this file under the configure directory. So it's best practice like this diagram, I think. So is another usage for this SpringFox Swig API document is it is like this. We can use SpringFox to provide API documents for the Swing data REST. So first, we need to set up a MongoDB connection, because without MongoDB connection, we cannot start up this application, this Spring Boot application. And then we just need to define the repository for this API, for this Swing data REST. Like here, I'm using the MongoDB. Of course, we will have the MongoDB entity is the document for in MongoDB collection is the products, and this ID is about the private key of MongoDB, a document of MongoDB, and this index here the product ID is for searching this document, specific document. Okay, after I define this repository, I have to add API annotation here. It's a best practice to make this tag different with the normal API, because we need to differentiate this API, this data, Swing data REST API with the normal API. It's because we actually very often use this Swing data REST API to insert some test data. Okay, after I define this tag, I need to add this tag to the docket. So this is docket, and we have to use this one because the base packaging means that the implementation class for the specific API. So when I define the package as this one, it will not show the API document for this API Swing data REST API, because the implementation class is not residing in this package. It will be somewhere else. Okay. So we need to use this one to show all the APIs. Of course, we need to add a tag. We can add a tag here that REST Mongo is a different tag for us to differentiate this API with normal API. Okay, let me run it. And we're gonna have to click the button. No, I didn't. Let me run it. Yes. Swing data has provided a very fancy feature for very easily integrate the database to Spring Boot application. But it lacks a feature for document its API. Okay, then you refresh the page and you will see that you will see all the APIs show up, and as well as our data REST and Mongo API. You will see the entities is there, and many APIs for this specific entities. Because this repo is a paging and sorting repo, so we need to use specific parameters for the page and the size. If we don't do that, it will not search out any results for us. So we need to add some parameters there. So it says no data because this is a fresh new application I started up earlier just now. So I need to create some data in it. You can see here the PP API is a normal API. I use this normal API to create data in it. Let me create some data in it. 11 name leave it the same, leave it as default. And it will create. Okay, create it. And then we can use the data REST API to simply easily search the data we inserted just now. And here, let me try that again. You can see the data is there, so it is successful. We only need to write this normal Swing data repo interface like we did it before in the Swing data REST projects. And we only need to add the annotation API to make it different with normal API. And then we just need to be careful that we need to request the handlers Swing or to show all the APIs, because we don't know, because I don't know the implementation class, what's the implementation class. tagging. Yes, because we will see a lot of the different APIs there, we can use this path. We can use these path selectors to filter out the interesting ones. And of course, we need to add tag here to select this API, to select this data REST API and show it. So this is a very cool feature. Next time we will talk about how to set up a MongoDB, embedding MongoDB within boot application, and how to use this annotation to use the Spring Data standard REST API interface. It's a GUI interface. We will have a browser interface to use this Spring Data REST API. But I prefer this Swagger API because Swagger API is beautiful. It's very beautiful. Oh, one thing I missed is that how is the dependencies? We need to include dependencies like Spring Fox Data REST and the Spring Fox Boot Starter. This Boot Starter will provide the UI interface, and the Spring Boot Data REST will integrate the Spring Data REST to the Swagger API document. And yes, that is for these two dependencies for this Swagger API document. And another thing is that we need to import this configuration because we need to use this configuration to integrate the Spring Data REST to the Spring Fox Swagger API documents. So this is important.